Today's tip, we're going to talk about the Jog tool, the sheet metal tool that allows us to have a particular cutout, as we see in this particular model here, to essentially bend the metal just as we would in real life, not have any more or any less. The opposition to doing this would be to cut out the entire cutout piece that we see here, the entire square, and add in the bend that we're going to put in. That could cause problems in design changes, different sizes in the hole, the heights, things like that, that as much material as we put in there wouldn't actually fit in the hole. Real easy tool. We're going to go over it here. First thing we got to do is either start a sketch and draw our bend line, or we'll come up and you can go directly to your sheet metal tools and choose the Jog tool, which will then ask you, where do you want to draw your line? It will ask where do you want to draw it and automatically start a sketch for you. We'll say right on this face. Come in here, take my line tool, and I'll just put a nice bend back on here. You can do any of your dimensioning you need to do, how far from the back cut, whatever you may need. Let's say we'll go an 1/8 inch from that back end there. From here, the tool is very easy. We can, since I started with the Jog tool, I can just close the sketch. Otherwise, I would go to sheet metal and choose Jog, which I can still do. I'll just close the sketch, which I knew I already wanted the Jog tool. And SolidWorks asks us, what is the fixed face? The fixed face is, this is where a lot of people get messed up on sheet metal. You can pick anything you want, but where you pick stays, just like it says, fixed in space. This is one other thing, I did forget about this, that the line cannot go beyond the material. So I'll cancel out here, and I'm going to bring it back to the edge of the actual bent up piece. Come in here, grab the edge and the end, make it coincident, and here in the end, and make it coincident. There we go. We'll go back into the Jog tool, pick our fixed face, and because I have something selected right, it automatically pops up. Now our options, using the default sheet metal radius that was put in first when the first sheet metal base piece was created on this file, or of course we can change it. And how do you want to do your offset? As we can see, it does pop itself up, and that's what the Jog does, is pops it up in the material. Come in here, I'm saying a 1/2 inch. It gives us 3 ways that we want to look at this, or do our dimensioning. From the top to the top, is that what we're dimensioning? From the top to the bottom, maybe if something slid in here for a slot or something, I do want that dimension. See that one there? Or from the bottom of the material to the top of the Jog, do we want to define that as our 500 distance? Doesn't really matter what you pick, it's all dependent on your design, of course. Your Jog position, this is based on the line that we drew in. Is it based on the bend center line, essentially the K factor? Do we want it to be the edge, basically right up in here? We can hit that. We can see that'll bring it right to the edge. That one doesn't work on this particular one. Do you want it to go the inside? If we look at it, we can see in this case it's over there. And do we want it to be where the start of the radius is? You can hit that guy. See that where the tangency goes, it pops it right in there. We'll do it from the inside. Jog angle, I believe 30 degrees is default, but you can see here I put in a 45 degrees. It'll bend it up 40 degrees, or sorry, 45 degrees. And then, of course, based on our dimensions here, total height of a 1/2 inch from the bottom to the top. If we take a look at this model, though, for the hole that we have it set in, it isn't quite right. If we look at the top, we can see it still comes up just as if we cut it. We've just basically added more material. In order to create this as if we did cut through the set on the material and then kind of popped it up, we have the choice for not having a fixed projected length. It says when checked, preserves projected length of part, Or if we uncheck it, we can see it pops back some. And what it's doing is it's creating basically this length that we originally have, keeping the same length minus the math of the K-factor or bend allowance or whatever it may be. So that when it is finished, as we can see here, I'll give it an OK, our flat pattern still comes out nice and flat down here. Versus, I'll edit it and I'll check the fixed. Give it an OK. This time when it's in flat pattern, we can see it fails and it's interfering on itself because it's longer than what we originally had modeled or cut out. Bring it back to the projected fixed length. Give it an OK. And we get what we're looking for. We see from the top that open area as would normally happen. Another thing we can do with the jog, if we need a double jog here, or triple or whatever, we can do the same thing. I can hit jog, I pick the face first. The jogs don't have to be straight. I can put it at some angle here. We'll hit the sheet metal jog. Oh, the line needs to be non-construction. Jog, where to hold it, pops it up, gives us the same numbers already. No fixed length. It does keep it straight, so the second bend or the second part of the material will not bend also. But we can do all of our settings, how high we want it. We can see we're getting less and less, or more and more amount. Bring this back up. We'll bring it to a 90-degree bend. And when I give it an OK, we can see from the top, we definitely have the same pull here. And we can get whatever shapes we needed based on whatever we want. Just one jog line, though, per bend or per jog. So you do have to do multiple jogs. But at least now when I flatten it out, I still get the correct design. The center lines for the bends, of course, show up as usual for centers for sheet metal. And we can get some pretty intricate cuts and bends versus anything else. We can come in here. I could use the hem tool. Insert sheet metal hem. It's not stopping us from doing anything. I can go hem it over here. Now the hem would make more material, so you would have to adjust for that. This is going to come out and be longer, but just messing with the math there or messing with the material, you can get to whatever you want. Cancel out that hem.